involved with Autism Speaks?
A dear friend of mine has a son that's on the spectrum, and he's on the low end of the spectrum. And she was making me aware of the difficulties that presents to families. The burden financially is unbelievable. Online, they'll say something like it doubles. It's double what you make, but it's more like 3 times, and it can be expensive. I'm Team Andrew. Ava is a board member for Autism Speaks. I was pleased to speak at the Rose Bowl, guest speaker last year, tell my story. The statistics are staggering, and I'm all in. I travel the country and I raise money and I speak on behalf of autism, and it's one of those causes that mean a lot to me because it's so misunderstood. And I know how my cousin Joseph, who's on the spectrum, he was misunderstood growing up, and we sort of wrote him off. And there was a word that we called everyone that was different back then that we don't use now. And I love all of this awareness, and I love being part of it, and raising awareness and spreading, knowledge of what it is and what it isn't.
Going back to the financial hardships, let's educate people. Why is it so financially straining on families?
It's a number of reasons, but, hospital visits, therapy. I'm sure I'm not naming all of them, but, the lady I know had to quit her job, and her son was cutting all of his clothes at one point when he hit puberty, things like that, things that people don't know about. And so it is a burden in a lot of ways. And not to toot my own horn, but I was pleased to raise a lot of money last year, most I've ever raised for charity, primarily autism. And stay tuned, because Wednesday, the 28th, I'll be on an episode of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. My charity was Autism Speaks, and a co-worker, a castmate of mine, and I raised for our respective charities. And you got to stay tuned to see how much, but I was pleased.
Can you give us a little preview? What was the hardest question that you were given on how to be a millionaire?
Let me tell you something. The way they phrase the questions are in the negative.
Okay.
So I remember one question was, what actor did not play himself in a movie 7 times? Exactly.
What was the answer?
It was I think it was Pierce Brosnan, and I actually got it right. I don't know how, but it's harder than you think, because both sides of your brain are working. It's you're thinking, so your left brain's at work, but you have to realize, like, oh wow, there's all these cameras on national TV, plus a live audience. And there was one question that was really easy that the whole audience got that I didn't get. So I'm like, you guys are laughing at me. I can hear you. And so it was a lot of fun, but harder than you think. Yeah.
Well, enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you so much.
That's it. Thank you so much. All right. You too. Take care.
Times are changing. It's not as scary.
I'm just going to have us slide back a little bit so we can all get in the shot. We're here for Autism Speaks tonight. How can people attending galas like this go from raising awareness to affecting change within our community?
Well, I think it begins with awareness, and then from there you just have to take what you learn and just implement it, and just be aware of everything going on, and just trying to help as many people as possible and give, because there's always an answer for everything, and just being able to be involved in the community, I think, is a really big thing. And that's why we're here, because it's something that's important. We have so many friends who have children with autism, and it's so prevalent right now. It's crazy. There's so many people, more and more people that we know, so there's definitely got to be something to be done.
What's the most interesting fact of knowledge that you've learned that you'd love to share with people on autism?
It's about treating them like everybody else. And I think at the end of the day, everybody deserves to be accepted for who they are and not to be looked upon as different or weird. And it's nothing that they can help. And I love that there's shows like The Good Doctor and shows like that really shows that they can be what's the word I'm thinking of? Just a really important part of community. I mean, there's no reason for them to be any different than anybody else, and everybody can contribute. That's the key. Yeah.
Thank you guys for being here tonight, and enjoy the rest of your night. Yeah.
Meeting you.
Oh my God, did you get